I just love this 9.5-inch dwarf member of the parrot family and have been keeping and breeding them for years. As with most African parrots, they represent a phenomenal investment, a hand-reared baby fetching up to 4 times the cost of an adult. 3 races exist, the main difference being in the colour of the abdomen, the more generally available having bright yellow, the other 2 red or orange. Distribution of this species ranges through Ghana, the Ivory Coast, Nigerian Cameroon and southwest Chad. In captivity, they lay between 3 to 4 eggs in a clutch. Incubation lasts for 28 days, though in my own facility, 24 days has been recorded. As with all African parrots, breeding activity is most likely to occur in the UK during winter months. In spite of ever-increasing import restrictions, the Senegal remains probably the most freely available of all true parrots, a worthwhile and rewarding cage and aviary subject nevertheless. Like other members of the poicephalus group, the 9-inch Myers parrot has recently become the focus of some enthusiasm from the bird-keeping fraternity. Regular breeding successes are now being recorded, and their existence within aviculture should now be assured. The wild distribution of this species is reasonably widespread, covering Uganda, western Tanzania, Kenya, Zambia, Angola, and the southwest Africa. In my own facility, pairs bred in a flight just 24 inches by 24 inches by 36 inches long, laying 3 eggs and hatching their chicks at 27 days. One of the less well-known and available of its group, the Rupels is nevertheless a worthwhile and desirable addition to any collection. Sexual dimorphism is said to exist, the female being more brightly coloured than the male. Breeding activity has been recorded as taking place in all months of the year, though more usually towards December. 3 to 4 eggs are produced in a clutch, with hatching taking place at 28 days. Wild distribution is restricted to southwest Africa and Angola. Due to its dull coloration, this parrot has never achieved great popularity. Indeed, when available, it has been offered at even less than the Senegal, a species to which it bears great similarity in size, if not colour. Availability, dictated by demand, could see this bird disappear from aviculture altogether, though hopefully this will not be the case. It is common within its wild range, which includes Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Tanzania and Kenya. Reports indicate 2 eggs in a clutch to be the norm, hatching at 26 to 28 days. Almost certainly the most distinctive of the poicephalus group, the red-bellied parrot originating from Ethiopia, Tanzania and Somalia, is without doubt one of the most desirable of the group. In size, it mirrors its common relative the Senegal, but unlike the latter, can be sexed when adult easily by the eye. The cock sports deep red-orange on the abdomen and lower breast, replacing the female by bluish-green. A rarity within aviculture until the early 80s, today a good number of pairs exist in aviaries worldwide. Though still reasonably scarce, these birds are, when available, far more reasonably priced than, say, the cakes from South America, a species of similar size and attractiveness. My own pairs tend to lay 3 eggs in a clutch, though on occasion 4 have been recorded. Hatching takes place at 28 days, and the chicks wean and leave the nest at 12 weeks. 3 races of this bird appear to exist, but vary only in the amount of red appearing on its head or the bend of the wing. Here we are featuring the nominate race. Jardines are attractive birds and have recently begun to receive from aviculturists the attention they so richly deserve. It is an interesting fact that throughout the 1980s, dealers in Africa frequently gave these birds as an inducement to customers, when buying African greys, or at worst, charged £1 a bird. I doubt this is a practice continued today. The third largest at 11 inches of the poicephalus group, the Jardines will make, when hand-reared, an interesting and less expensive alternative to its countrymen than the grey, but its talking ability is, it must be said, somewhat limited. A forest dweller, the Jardines inhabits Central Africa, Angola, Kenya and northern Tanzania. In captivity, a clutch of 3 to 4 eggs is laid, hatching at 26 days. The Cape parrot from southeastern Africa, western Zululand, western Swaziland and eastern Transvaal is a rare, expensive and much sought after member of its group. It is also, at 12 inches, the largest. A small number of these birds were imported into the UK in the early 1990s, though unfortunately most proved to be males. Nevertheless, a good number of pairs are now breeding both in the UK and elsewhere. As with its smaller relatives, the Cape will go to nest at almost any time of the year, laying clutches of 3 to 4 eggs, which again hatch at 28 days. Capes can be sexed visually when adult, the hen having a completely red forehead, whereas in the male this coloration is slight, or in some specimens almost non-existent.